down with OTC? Down with OTC. OTC. Are you down with OTC? Are you down with OTC? OTC. Are you down with OTC? Down with OTC. Down with OTC.
All right. Hey, good morning. This is Jeff. You're here on the How to Review exclusively on the chain. Today, we are going to be talking about how the SEC gets a major response from Ripple. This is a response that we've been waiting for the past weeks. It's been like, I don't know, maybe 5 weeks since we've been waiting now for this big response. We want to talk about that. There's a class action lawsuit being filed against Robinhood. We've been talking about this now for a couple of days, everything that's been happening with GameStop, with the Wallstreet Bets, how they're really bringing this, really to the forefront. Let me see here. Yes, we definitely can. So, there's definitely, a whole bunch of crazy things that are happening right now as we speak, not just with the crypto space, but within the stock space. It is the retail investor has been fighting back. And that is major because up until, I would say, 2010, with the advent and launch of Bitcoin, the retail investor didn't really have many other opportunities other than being relatively manipulated by large financial institutions where everything, and from a manipulation perspective, doesn't mean that it was illegal or anything like that, but it means that it's heavily weighted to the benefit of the hedge funds, to the benefit of the big banks, to the benefit of the financial institutions. Now we need many of these components in our overall financial existence. Banks are obviously a necessity as banks transact and transfer to this let's call it a new guard of the crypto blockchain space, the fintech space. They leave the brick and mortar. The dynamics are shifting again. The weight is balancing out to where retail investors are beginning to gain a major advantage. I want to talk about all of that stuff in detail today because it's very critical. And so what I wanted to do was start out with a tweet that Chip shared. Now, I've been having a little technical issue, so I'm afraid to I don't want to share my screen through this software because the last few times I tried to do it, my camera shut off. It makes absolutely no sense. But for you guys out there, why don't you guys start giving a shout out to where you're from? We always love seeing where everybody's tuning in from. We already have about 100 in the stream, 100 coming from all different parts of the world, which is exciting. Why? Because we love seeing everybody here with us. We think it's really important, and we really appreciate everyone. But go ahead, give a shout out from where you're from, and I'm getting excited to start today out on the right foot because we're going to get going right now. All right. That's a great open. That is great. It gives me a minute to start drinking a little bit more coffee. By the way, if you haven't got your espresso yet, make sure you run out, get your espresso. And today is all about the Death Wish. So I ordered more Death Wish and I ordered some Valhalla as well. So hopefully by next week, we'll be drinking the Valhalla. And looking for some other recommendations. If you guys have any recommendations from coffee, definitely throw them out there as well. And we're going to dig in today. So we've got Michigan in the house with Content Consumer. What is up, Michigan? We've got Winnipeg. Sorry. Winnipeg, California in the house here. London in the house. Canada, Antioch, California. Malaysia, Bavaria. Cincinnati, Ohio, the Netherlands. Holy cow, we got tons and tons of people coming from all over the place. We got Yo, what's up? From Amsterdam. Got Yossi coming in from Israel. We've got Switzerland over here, Australia, Germany. We got more Michigan in the house. We got tons of people coming in. This is awesome. Already from everywhere. I saw Pakistan a second ago. And Lucerne, I've been to Lucerne, Switzerland. Great place. Highly recommend it. If you guys haven't been to Switzerland, go check it out. Have not been to Lithuania yet. Place that I've been planning on checking out as well. Awesome. We got Alabama here, Portugal. Got people from all over New York. So we got Norway, another great place. If you guys haven't been to Norway, go check out Norway. And we got Franklin Brown coming all the way in from South Africa. All right, that's the show. Check you guys out next. No, I'm kidding. All right, so where are we going to start? I want to start today with a quote, a tweet from Chip. Now, you guys know Chip because he's the co-host here on the chain. And I thought, he put out this tweet the other day. I thought it was a good place to start. I just saw Ireland pop up here. Keith from Ireland. Nice. Another great place. If you guys haven't been to Ireland, go check that place out too. All right. So Chip started out with this tweet, or I'm starting out with Chip's tweet from yesterday. Chip already started out with a tweet because he posted it yesterday. But he started off, the game is rigged. Governments are rigged. People are waking up. Decentralization equals freedom. And I really wanted to spend some time on decentralization equals freedom, but that statement, decentralization equals freedom, kind of embodies a lot. Let me put this up here. Let me type this out. Decentralization, let's see if I can spell it properly. Centralization equals freedom. There we go. Decentralization. I don't know. It looks right. Let me add that banner right there. Let me put that up there. You guys see that? Did I spell that right? Decentralization. That looks right. Okay. Decentralization equals freedom. I think Chip really, nailed it very, very clearly, very succinctly with that statement. There is so much going on right now where that is key. And really, Chip was responding to this Elijah Schaefer, who had put out a tweet earlier in the day talking about how big tech was deleting negative reviews of the Robinhood app. And I said, oh, can that even be possible? Can big tech with Google actually step to that point where they're actually going to manipulate? Are they going to manipulate the outcomes? Are they going to manipulate what the people actually are responding to? Would Twitter do that? Is Twitter going to actually manipulate, what people's freedoms? If they want to type something, are they going to block it? But this whole concept, decentralization equals freedom, and what we saw here, which was legit, because we see, actions being taken recently. SEC filing a lawsuit against Ripple, declaring that XRP is a security, whereas the SEC prior to that had provided a little bit of guidance that they did not believe at that point, although they left the door open, that they believed that ETH and BTC, Ethereum and Bitcoin, they looked at Ethereum and Bitcoin were not securities. Yet they refer to XRP in this complaint as a security. Is that an infringement on individuals' freedoms, especially individual investors that were buying XRP? Did the SEC infringe on their freedoms by filing a lawsuit, making a declaration, making a claim, making a claim that, in fact, one digital asset that's really not that much different than another digital asset like Ethereum, for instance, why would you declare one a security and another not a security unless there's something else connected to it? Is it because the banks are in that space? Are we seeing an imbalance right now between how the government and big tech are reacting or responding to big banks, to big financial institutions, while stepping on the freedoms of the individual? So in this scenario, the freedoms being your freedom of investing where you want to invest, buying the security, the stocks that you want to buy, buying the digital assets that you want to buy. Does big tech, big banks, exchanges, whatever, do they have the jurisdiction to decide what you can and cannot transact when those investment vehicles are listed on their exchanges? So for instance, like with Robinhood, does Robinhood have the freedom of will to block an individual from buying a security, a stock that's listed on their exchange, that's available, but only allows individuals to sell that stock but not buy that stock? Do they have the ability to also then block the ability to move that investment back into cash, or take your cash and put that into a stock that's listed on every other exchange out there that's a legit investment vehicle? Now, we saw this happening from multiple different perspectives, because we see the SEC attacking Ripple, trying to make a claim that XRP is a security. We saw recently this week Robinhood locking out the control of individuals to buy more more securities, more stocks of GameStop, of AMC. They made their own decision beyond what any other claimant might be from a regulatory perspective. But Robinhood took it upon themselves to block their users from being able to transact in specific stocks the way they wanted to transact, which is extremely problematic. But beyond that, my experience was that Wednesday night, Thursday night, Thursday night, I made an attempt to sell Dogecoin when it was at its height at 8 cents. The response that I got was, your transactions, due to unusual trading, your transactions, or most of these types of transactions, won't go through. So it was interesting to see, what was happening on Robinhood, which is a lesson. Now, I did have, a few investments in Robinhood. I used to love using the Robinhood app. Why? Because it was easy. It was no frills. You scan, you're immediately trading. You don't have to go through any hassle. It's just easy, free trades. At one point, I paid the monthly fee because you could have unlimited trades, and it was great. It was great. However, what we saw is that Robinhood, in fact, seemed to be manipulating transaction. Now, this is just all speculation from individuals, and claims could be true, could be fake, but it looks like they were based on some allegations out there that Robinhood might have been colluding with Citadel, with some of the hedge funds, and releasing user data based on what people were buying, what the weight of people were buying on, and somehow they were leveraging the market, because there were a lot of retail, users, younger retail users on the Robinhood platform. A lot of younger, and so there was some form of a back end manipulation based on some of the claims and accusation. But now there's also a class action lawsuit being filed against Robinhood due to these allegations, due to the fact that they wouldn't allow their users to buy, and that's problematic. And so here you have already 100,000 people have joined it. Now that's legit. Now, from any perspective, however you want to look at this, so my personal experience is that, I had been trading stocks on it, had some money in the account a while ago, didn't feel like taking it off. I said, you know what? I'm going to try to buy, digital asset. Buy is held loosely in loose terms on the Robinhood platform. So I bought a couple different digital assets. One of them happened to be Dogecoin when it was low, and a couple others. But now, as I started seeing this, not only were there rumors, or, not just rumor, but evident on the app where it's telling you that there were specific assets that you wouldn't be able to trade freely. But, the big lesson to all of this is, don't use a platform like that to buy and sell a digital asset. Now, the thing is, again, I put it there, try it out. Let me see what it's like. What was the experience like buying a digital asset on Robinhood when you actually don't own that digital asset on the Robinhood platform? You buy it, but it's a digital representation, a numeric representation on their platform. They're basically custodying that digital asset, or somebody is custodying the digital asset. They probably don't own it either. They probably bought the rights to own it. Maybe they're taking out options against it. Who knows? They were doing a lot, because we saw that Robinhood got to a point where they were most likely over leveraged themselves, and all of the options and the investments and the margin calls and everything that a lot of these individuals that were investing again on GameStop and some of the others. Now, Robinhood didn't have, was probably not collateralized properly in order to hold all of this stuff. So there was other problems going on behind the scenes, just like what was the one hedge fund had to go to another hedge fund to borrow $2 or $3 billion because they would have gone under due to everything that was going on. So it's crazy. So now my decision and many other decisions that have been made, just like individuals that responded to the SEC lawsuit complaint or the lawsuit against Ripple, many investors in XRP bailed on their XRP, many of them with a loss based on the fact that the SEC was filing a complaint after 7 years. 7 years, the SEC chose to ignore what was happening with Ripple, and in fact, due to their silence, was more or less giving permission to the fact that their belief then was that XRP was not a security, or that Ripple wasn't doing anything incorrect. Why? Because Ripple was very transparent in everything that they had done up until that point, including selling digital asset, including giving away digital asset, including escrowing 55 billion XRP, including releasing 1 billion XRP every single month, including taking X amount and letting everybody know very transparently where that XRP was going, and then how much was going back into the escrow. All of this transparent, including the fact that the Ripple team was actively lobbying all of these 3-letter and 4-letter agencies in government for regulatory clarity, including hiring one of the architects of the Token Taxonomy Act to then go back to government and lobby and educate the government on the digital asset space. So all of that stuff takes place, but yet the SEC still files a lawsuit regardless of the fact that they were probably harming many retail investors of XRP that would then bail out of XRP at a loss due to the complaint being filed. Now, obviously, there's a lot of issue with that, just as there's a lot of issue with what Robinhood was doing, or the response from these agencies in the US, with a lot of confusion in terms of who they're placing the blame on with this, with GameStop. Now, GameStop ran up. It was trading, I don't know, $6, $19 not that long ago. Within the Wallstreet Bets world, they were looking at GameStop as a good play, a 5 times play from $6 to $30. They looked as a $30 stock. The hedge fund decided they were going to short the stock by 140%. Individuals at Wallstreet Bets discovered that that's what was happening, and they turned the tables. Just like John Deaton is turning the tables on the SEC, whereas the SEC files complaint against Ripple for supposedly selling an unregistered security XRP. John Deaton, the attorney who we've had on multiple times, is filing suit against the SEC for destroying the lives of individual investors by ignoring the fact that there's billions of dollars of potential loss due to the fact that the SEC filed suit against Ripple, ignoring the retail investor. Just like what's happening right now, we're seeing it again, where the SEC, we're seeing statements coming out of politicians and these 3-letter and 4-letter organizations for more regulation in the space. But the question is that regulation coming against the hedge funds that are, overreaching and in their overzealousness to make money and destroy companies by shorting the market by 140%? Or is the government going to overregulate individual retail investors? Are they going to do what the SEC did by going after Ripple after 7 years of everything being up and transparent, ignoring the XRP retail investor community? That's an unknown variable, because if, in fact, this case comes out, SEC v. Ripple, that XRP is a security, it is going to have a detrimental impact across the board on many other digital assets. Now, while all of that is going, the U.S. Chamber of Commerce came out and filed a study. I made a video on the other channel. You guys can go check out that other video. But I made a video on the other channel that, in fact, reviewed what the U.S. Chamber of Commerce was talking about when they said that the U.S. has to maintain their edge in the innovation space of blockchain. So that's one entity. There's multiple entities. And one of the things that was addressed within this study is that with all the different organizations, all the different opinions, there's confusion. And there's confusion amongst the agencies. There's confusion in Congress. There's confusion from at every single level. I mean, it's crazy, absolutely crazy. When you see this kind of level of confusion. Now, in part, when our government makes decisions, our decisions are meant to be slow in rolling out. There's a process in passing laws. You're not meant in our country, although presidents do do things by executive order. Our constitution and our political system is not meant to have one person determine the laws and rules of this country. So you have the executive branch, you have the president that leads, but the president doesn't write the rules. You have a legislative branch. You have there's multiple things that are going on within our government that that orchestrates the direction of how our country moves. I'm talking about the U.S. That we can't ignore. And right now, within the confusion, I want to say what's up to Lamons here. The whole world is pumping XRP. Twitter ongoing wild, and there are already 40,000 participants to stick to the SEC on Monday. I mean, there's a ton. There's so much going on, So let me pull something up here. Hang on a second. Hang on a second. Okay, so hang on. Okay. So anyhow, so the way our government is structured is that it's very, very clear, and this is why there's a process for everything. But within that process, sometimes there's a little bit of confusion, and we're seeing way too much confusion amongst the ranks right now, and amongst all those organizations, to the point where I think the confusion also stems when you get into, let's call it, the legislative branch of the government that is very susceptible to the lobbyists out there, and have been for many, many years. Not all, but many within there are susceptible to the lobbyists because the lobbyists pull the purse strings, or hold the purse strings to make a determination on what they're going to do in Congress. And so we've seen that for many, many years. This is why there's now more confusion as to where are these organizations going to fall when it comes to regulatory clarity for the digital asset space, not regulations that are overreaching, but we're talking about regulatory clarity that provide the rules of the game so that everybody building in the space and everybody investing in the space has a clear understanding of where things are going, but not to the point where they're crushing the innovation of the space in the US. And so obviously, again, what did we start off with this morning is that we have hundreds of people in here from all over the world. And we're close to 400 people in here right now from all over the world. But one of the things that stands out is that, in the US has always taken a leadership role in the different developments within our economy. So we don't have to look too far back. We go to the 80s. You have the computer era, led by the U.S. A lot of the innovation and tech developed in the U.S. and obviously lots and lots of contribution from around the world. But the development of that space. Then we have the 90s. You have the internet boom, the internet craze. Again, much of it led, within the U.S. And now we're finding another, boom within the blockchain space. And this blockchain space can be developed anywhere in the world. We're seeing it all over, and we're seeing leadership role taken all over the world. But the one thing that we know is that the U.S., can't take a back seat to that. We definitely don't want to see the U.S. taking a back seat And because if it does, it's detrimental to the space in general. So that's kind of how how we can unload on all of that. But this is the direction. And so Chip hit it. Decentralization equals freedom, because the decentralization of the people allowing the further development. You get to invest where you want to invest. You invest how you want to invest. You use your money how you want to use it. You move your money when you want to move it, how you want to move it. And it shouldn't be held up by all of these, miscellaneous entities that are tied into it. So that is really, really, critical to understand this concept of decentralization being freedom. It's not decentralization, anarchy, destroy the government, burn it all down. It is decentralization, allowing the individuals to reclaim the freedoms that they should have already had, and not be subjugated to overzealousness of the centralization of the economies. So this is really, really key. I haven't even checked this morning, but Laurel mentions that XRP is at 32 cents. The market is responding to how Ripple is going to respond to the SEC, and taking a very strong tone, which is key. And we're going to get to it here in 1 second. I had to go through all of that first. Kind of let's set the tone, set the mood of if everything's going on. And hey, if you guys are brand new to On the Chain, which I know we do get a decent number. I think we're getting a great amount. Those that subscribe to the channel tune in on every one of our live streams, but make sure you hit the subscribe button if you haven't subscribed yet. It helps us out when you subscribe. Hit the bell notifier. It allows you to get notification when we go live, even though we stream 6 days a week now. We're going Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and on Saturday mornings at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We also have a virtual blockchain meetup, the first ever, that's going to take place tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you haven't registered yet, go into the description below and grab the registration link. Register for it, and we're sending out emails with the login. So if you've already registered for it, make sure you check your email, check your spam. We're sending out the emails, and there's that. Initially, we had it turned on so that you had to re-register again on our platform. But now, we're getting it out. If you're registered through TicketLeap, then you're going to be getting a login directly to it. And there's a countdown you can add to your calendar. So we'll be sending out another one of those today. So stay tuned for that. Let's see here. All right. I saw some comments here, and now they just flew past. So that'll be crazy. Let's see here. All right, so let's dig in. Oh, by the way, we also have JP, CEO of Uphold, will be on tomorrow night at 8 a.m. 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the roundtable. So tune in for that one as well. Matrix over here. Decentralization means people can vote with their money like a true democracy, whereas central bank and big hedge funds can pick and choose the winners. There you go. I mean, that's a solid statement right there. And it's amazing with everything that is going on right now. The sentiment of the people around the world is really turning, because people realize that they're empowered now. They realize what we saw with the Reddit forum, with the Wallstreet Bets. People are realizing that kind of empowerment, where you have retail investors, many of them trading on Robinhood, many of them trading on other platforms. However, what we saw is that they took down the hedge fund. They bet against the hedge fund, and that's putting the power back in the people, just like what we're going to see right now, which is the SEC v. Ripple, and that Ripple is fighting also, to keep the power in the hands of the people, although they're concerned very much about the continuation of their business with the banks, but they want to modernize. So why is Ripple also, very, critical to this space? Because they're there to modernize the process that takes out a lot of the fat from the centralization that also then, puts the power back in the hands of the people. Why? Because your transactions are transparent. And we're talking about major, big transactions, moving sums of money, from country to country, utilizing a third-party entity. Eventually, you put the RippleNet solution in place as you have more of the fintechs, more of the newer, call them newer type of banking solutions. Let's call it an Uphold, or maybe a Coinbase, or maybe a Bitstamp, or maybe a Kraken, or whatever it might be. Maybe one of these exchanges becomes the banks of tomorrow that everybody is utilizing, because your money is coming in regardless of the denomination that it, or the currency that it comes in, regardless of whether or not it's a fiat currency, which is represented as a digital dollar, or if it comes in the form of a digital asset. Let's say you're getting paid in XRP. James Rule, XRP, was on the show last week about how he gets paid in XRP. Now imagine you're getting paid in Bitcoin, or you're getting paid, you're doing work over in the UK and you're in the US and you get paid in pounds, but the pounds go into your account and now you can do whatever you want with them. But all of these things open up the world. Right now, there's been a lot of exclusion, where people are excluded from certain parts of the economy due to the lack of interoperability, which causes obviously major issues. So all right, let me see here. So people are wondering, where they can invest in XRP, or what exchanges different people are using, and all of that. But there's multiple platforms out there. I know with Coinbase, they shut down a transaction on XRP. I believe, a lot of the big ones, I think Kraken did, a lot of the bigger ones. With Uphold, though, Uphold is still transacting XRP, buying, selling XRP, and one of the things that they had said, the statement that came out of Uphold, is that they're not going to pre-act and judge the outcome of a case that hasn't been decided yet, whereas others have been judging an outcome that hasn't been decided at the court level yet. So, yeah, good point. I kind of bond. Yeah, there is no Ripple to buy. You're not buying Ripple, but you can invest in XRP. Ripple is, as a stock, does have shareholders, but I don't know if Ripple is available. I believe that Ripple, as far as the stock, the registered security aspect of it, if it's privately held, there's no IPO, it's not being sold on the market anywhere, but they have investors in Ripple. And that's different, distinctly different than the digital asset XRP. So let's clarify that, very succinctly, that there, distinction. Ripple company, XRP, a digital asset that's built on the XRP ledger. Two separate things. Yep. Yeah. So I got 600 and XRP, and yeah, back a number of years ago, the digital asset was called Ripple. And they did create, and that was back in 2017, 2018, they rebranded under XRP. So that's interesting. All right, so let's get into this. Let me open up the next step. So the next step, I can get into this whole article. So so Ripple did file on their blog. They talked about what the response is. But I saw this tweet. I kind of like how Stuart Alderati, how he responded. Brad Garlinghouse, how he responded on Twitter, because it's just short. They break it down. Boom, boom, boom. But the first thing that Brad Garlinghouse tweeted out yesterday was, "Our defense begins today. Innovation is on trial, and we stand shoulder to shoulder with our partners and the community to defend it." So this is such a big statement. I mean, it's a huge statement. Let me grab this. I think this is great, because let me put this in here. Again, I'm afraid to share my screen because with that technical issue before, it kept cutting my camera out. Then I have to exit out and start over, and we don't want that to happen right now. But check this out. Let me put this up. This is a good one. This is, Brad Garlinghouse. This was yesterday. What was yesterday? Is yesterday the 29th? I don't even know what the day is right now. There we go. Okay, this was Let me add this to the banner. There we go. So check this out. So this is the statement from Brad Garlinghouse. He started out his Twitter introduction of Stewart's comments on the case, on the response. Where he said, "Our defense begins today. Innovation." Think about that. Think about what he's saying here is that innovation is on trial. Why? Because we have the SEC coming after the one entity that is trying to change the way money is moved all over the world. And that means that they're taking away the control of SWIFT, which is the old way of doing things from an inefficient perspective. Ripple has modernized even just that one little element of the transaction, of the cross-border remittance payments, just that one little category of the messaging component. What SWIFT was revolutionary back in 1974. Think about in 1974, no computers, difficult to make long distance phone calls to people in other parts of the world. Imagine banks transacting. Imagine back in 1974, you were doing business over in Malaysia. You're doing business over in Indonesia. You're doing business in the UK. You're doing business somewhere in South America, and you needed to move money. And none of the banks operated with a common language, with the common procedures, SOPs. It just didn't exist. So it's very difficult to go through that process of moving your money from bank to bank. And then you obviously, even at that point in time, you still had the foreign currency issues, exchanging, and there are all these different issues that were built in. So SWIFT in 1974 was revolutionary. It changed so much. And it's really, really impressive. So, man, I hope Doge isn't blowing up right now. But let me take a look at that. Let's see. Is Doge blowing up? Is it pumping right now? Come on, let me open this up while you guys are talking about it. Where is it? Let's see. Card. There's the Doge right there. Oh, the Doge is at 3 cents right now. The Doge is going the other way around, and XRP is going up. So someone had said 32 cents. Doge is not pumping. Doge is the opposite of pumping right now. Let's see. Ethereum, I think, hit 1,400 yesterday, which was pretty amazing. Ethereum's at 1343. Bitcoin has been playing between 29 to 34,000. Very reactionary, but we're starting to see more, more interest. Uniswap at $16. Interesting. All right. So anyhow, so this is crazy, right? So anyhow, so here you have Brad Garlinghouse and Ripple that is standing shoulder to shoulder with their partners. Partners meaning those that are developing and building in this space. Right. This is such a key element. What he says here, there's so much in this one sentence of this brief paragraph that he posted on Twitter. Thoughts on XRP, hold February 1st, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. Why is everyone talking about February 1st? That's we'll have to get into that. Let's go through this comment here, and let's see. SEC will have to answer this, and this is big. Exactly. So this is one of the requirements, one of the requests from Ripple, which is so succinct. I mean, it's so perfect to have this kind of response, because boom, it definitely gets interesting. Definitely is going to get interesting. So, all right, let's see here. Asia's buying XRP. Asia, yes. So what does the one thing that the SEC is ignoring across the board, which is exactly what Stuart Alderati is going to start off with when we look at the overall response to the complaint, is that in most other countries, XRP is not considered a security, Japan being one of them. So XRP pumping all over the place. We got the Philippines in the house as well. Glad to see you here. So, oh, gotcha. So 6 Hunt is saying there's a pump and dump Telegram group that got the XRP thinking they're going to pump. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. I don't know what, how big the Telegram group is. However, that and I think there's some issues with that, because we don't want to be in a pump and dump environment, because that is also just, think about whoever's involved in that Telegram group. They're also not thinking about the insinuation, or the outcome, I should say, the outcome of what that means. I don't think they're fully understanding what that means, pump and dump. Who gets left holding the bag? At the end of the day, if you're pumping a stock or an asset, digital asset, or anything else from that matter, if you pump it up, artificially pushing it, and it doesn't hold its position, then what happens? That's a short-term thing. So you can get a pump up. If they pump it up and then everyone takes profits and they sell off on the other end, it's very detrimental to somebody who got caught at the very top. And that's where it's difficult to figure out, are they doing it from that perspective? Are they buying? Is everyone going to go on a buying frenzy on the first, where there's a buying frenzy that pushes it to new heights to say to the SEC and everybody else, we as a community of the digital asset space believe in XRP's long-term viability and long-term price potential of XRP. Therefore, the community, 45,000 plus people, are buying XRP to hold for the longer term. You buy it and hold it for the longer term. So if it's a pump it and hold, basically the community is saying, look, we already own digital asset. There you go. Okay. So there you go. Some clarification, pump and hold. So that's, and then the thing is, what the community then is saying in that Telegram group is, we're pumping it. We're invested in XRP already. We're doubling down and we're investing more in the digital asset space because of, the belief in this digital asset. The community is coming together for the long term to show their support for this digital asset. Now, that to me, really, it brings a lot to the table, because, many in the community, including Ripple, believe that the XRP digital asset is here for the long term. The XRP digital asset built on the XRP ledger, just like Swift was revolutionary back in 1974, so too is RippleNet revolutionary starting in 2012, 2013, as they began to roll out elements of their now called RippleNet software solution that allows for the movement of money cross-border very efficiently, very cheaply, and also then rolling out as another element within their solution, which was the ODL, the on-demand liquidity, is further revolutionary based on the needs of the people and the needs of business transaction globally. It's revolutionary. The XRP ledger also, in terms of solutions, technologies out there, compare it to Ethereum, compare it to Bitcoin, each one has its own solution. Bitcoin as a store of value being equated to gold, understanding that Bitcoin isn't a transactional digital asset. When you have wide fluctuations, from one day could be worth 30,000, the next day could be worth 25,000, then it could go back to 35,000. However, Ethereum, primary purpose of ETH, gas, smart contracts, all of those things that are wrapped in, and the Ethereum solution to allow others to then build in the space as well, the ERC20 tokens. The XRP ledger, allowing the simplification and the ease of moving money cross-border, allowing interoperability, allowing for foreign currency exchange transactions seamlessly, transparently, fast, and overall efficiently at a low cost. There's so much as we break them down. There's just a lot going on. If XRP is considered a security, it can't be used for ODL. it changes the fundamentals of what it is potentially based on now. If you look at, and you look at the case, thanks XRP, you love the lemon tree. If you look at the case SEC versus Kick, the outcome was that Kin was a security. However, the SEC did not require that Kick register Kin as a security as part of the outcome. They limited, the amount of time that they could sell Kin without notifying the SEC. They fined them $5 million, and the SEC was very happy to collect the $5 million. They did not consider the retail investors of Kin at all, whether it was detrimental to them, not detrimental to them, or otherwise. And so one of the things that we had seen is that the retail investor with Kin is actually completely ignored by the SEC. And in fact, retail investors are still trading the Kin digital asset. So, there is that. So as we look at this case, there's so much confusion. All right, let's dig back into this. All right, so Brad then says, together we appropriate regular oversight. We can modernize outdated laws that clearly aren't working to protect consumers and ensure orderly markets. Outdated, protect consumers. Right now, nobody's protecting the consumer. The SEC is supposed to protect the consumer, but did they consider the consumer? Did they consider the retail investor when they filed this lawsuit? Maybe they did, maybe they didn't. Maybe the SEC already knows what the outcome is. Maybe the SEC already realizes that they have a very inefficient case that was filed. So Stuart Alderati starts off, he says, today we filed our preliminary legal response to the SEC's complaint. With it, we start to set the record straight and correct many misconceptions and contradictions within the allegation. Then he continues, no other country has classified XRP as a security. Spot on. The SEC is at odds with its counterparts in the US and peers in other G20 markets. So the SEC doesn't even take comment or advice from FinCEN or other entities within the US that have already stated that they don't believe that XRP is a security. Yet the SEC is plowing ahead on their own, making that claim. And peers within the G20 markets that have also claimed that XRP is not a security. He further continues, Ripple never held an ICO, nor did we ever sell or offer XRP as an investment. Those are very clear cut distinctions in their response. For 8 years, XRP has tracked in an open market independent of Ripple. The XRP digital asset has moved with the ebb and flow of the digital asset space. This is me, not him, not Stuart. But XRP has moved with the ebb and flow tied primarily to the movement of Bitcoin. Bitcoin goes up, the market goes up. Bitcoin goes down, the market goes down. Great news comes out of Ripple because there's new investments in the space. XRP goes down. XRP doesn't move. XRP does not respond to the ebb and flow of the business of Ripple. It never has. It isn't. Doesn't today. The XRP community is responsive now because the SEC filed a suit against Ripple declaring XRP as a security. So the SEC is directly attacking and influencing the investments of individuals out there. Hence, when Ripple responds and says, by the way, we don't believe it and we're fighting for the people, then the community responds and buy more XRP and the price of XRP goes up. It has nothing to do with what goes on transactionally within Ripple. So he continues. We also filed a Freedom of Information Act request asking how the SEC determined ETH evolved from a security to not a security. No explanation or guidance was given why. That this is all Stuart Alderati. We're simply asking for the rules to be, 1, stated clearly, 2, applied consistently. That's all. This is like this is 101, right? This is finance 101. Provide the rules of the game, allow the companies to operate within the rules of the game, and make sure that they're clear, and don't have one rule for this guy and one rule for that guy. What is up, Carl Lewis? So, so there's just so much. What is up, Magic Man? Just subscribed. As an XRP investor, one needs, well, yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that number, but I have no idea on that. But anyhow, so Diesel Hound, what is going on? Pump and hodl, love it. Break the game, love that. Diesel Hound. Did I say Diesel hodl? Giuseppe, what is going on? So, all right, so let's get back to this. So this was so key. I love this, right? What are the rules? Stated clearly, applied consistently. Don't want that much more. But how about under Freedom of Information, SEC? Why don't you explain how you came to the decision with ETH, which you haven't done so far? You made one decision for them, yet you're ignoring everything when it comes to Ripple. Why? Is it political? Is there politics involved somewhere behind the scenes? Is someone moving money around? I don't know. That's speculation, but all right. So he continues, we're not defending this case just for ourselves. We're fighting for everyone who's been hurt by the SEC filing. John Deaton filing a suit on behalf of the XRP community as well against the SEC for their overzealousness and overreach that had been detrimental to people within the XRP community. Ripple doing the same. They want to restore order to the markets and, most importantly, for industry clarity. And their goal is to get this case resolved as quickly as possible. That's key. Now, they said for the legal filing, we can go to the link that he put. And that's a whole other conversation. We can dig into the legal filing. We need to go through that. I would like to save that legal filing for Monday, because we're going to see some responsiveness in the market on Monday. And it's going to be interesting to take their case filing, dissect a little further, and see what kind of responsiveness it's had on Monday. It's really so key. Hey, Tristan, what is going on? But it's this whole thing is being flipped on its head. Ronnie from Portugal. Nice. So the whole thing is definitely being flipped on its head, and it's key. It's key. And so protect. They want the rules of the game. That is regulatory clarity. Regulations is when the government can penalize and fine and destroy entity. If you over-regulate, you penalize an industry. We just saw the closure of a pipeline, a gas pipeline that impacted jobs in Canada, in Texas, in New Mexico, and we haven't even seen the implication yet on the economy because of all the support jobs around that pipeline, the Keystone Pipeline, that with a stroke of a pen was frozen, was shut down. Tens of thousands of people out of work due to over-regulation, not allowing an industry to continue building and growing in this space. This is the overreach of a government when they can decide which industry succeeds and which industry fails. In fact, this government also recently put a freeze on an OCC ruling or judgment or clarity that banks cannot stop banking to an industry simply because the bank doesn't agree with your industry. It impacts the cryptocurrency market. Yes, it might be, the gun shop industry. It might be, pornography, whatever it might be. But banks were, being detrimentally impacting on these different industries, mainly because they didn't believe in the industry or whatever it might be. But the OCC had said you cannot make that determination on whether or not you're going to provide and allow for banking to flow. And so the one thing they ignore is the cryptocurrency space, because we've seen in different countries, like in the UK right now, they're attempting to stop banking transaction from digital asset exchange back to the banks. Very, very detrimental. And we have to be careful. We need clarity, regulatory clarity, similar to how SWIFT was revolutionary in providing the proper, all recognized and, communication, facilitated this communication, a common language. That's the kind of clarity that we need. Regulatory clarity, not destroying an industry, not destroying the investors in an industry, not targeting the retail investors, not besmirching the retail investors, not seeing government entities attacking retail investors that were investing in GameStop or XRP. That's very detrimental. I'm going to leave it at that. You guys are awesome. Make sure you guys hit the subscribe. Make sure you guys hit the thumbs up. It was really a pleasure being here with you guys this morning from all over the world. Love it. When things open up, my plan is to start traveling again. My passport had expired. I got my brand new passport, blank pages with all sorts of opportunities to fill up those blank pages once again, all over the world. What is up, DNI? Glad to see you here. I talked about the world and boom, DNI shows up just in the nick of time. The virtual meetup is tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Go into the description below. There is a link in the description of this video and every one of our previous videos to register for that meetup. Get registered today. We're going to be sending out another email later today with the login, with the link to log into the virtual meetup. And we'll look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and on the roundtable tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with JP Thoreau from Uphold, CEO of Uphold, with us right here on the chain tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We will check you guys out on the next one. And I like that idea. We need to do something with the Telegram group. Awesome Matrix. Make sure you guys all subscribe, and we'll see you tomorrow morning at the virtual meetup. I'm out.
Are you down with OTC? Please like, subscribe, and click the bell to be notified when the next video drops.